what's up? This is Carl West. We're here at CEO Xchange, another episode talking about building wealth and influence in our community. And a lot of that is done through legislation. So that's why I'm excited to have here our 33rd District State Representative Marcus E.
C, like a cat.
Marcus C. Evans, Black Cat.
Yeah.
What's up, Marcus?
What's up? How you doing, man?
Oh man, we're having a good time here. I'm glad you decided to stop by, man. It's hot outside. We're in the end of July right now, and I know you got something big happening at the end of this month.
Yeah.
And let's get right into that because we're going to get into talking about how legislation can allocate wealth.
Yeah,
But let's first talk about this historic position that you are taking on now as the what?
Well, in August, I'll become the president of the National Conference of State Legislatures. So we have an association, NCSL. All the legislators are involved. I'm talking
Across the country.
From Washington State to New York. Every legislator is involved in NCSL. And they change our presidents every year. And I'll be the third black individual. I'll be the youngest by far. President Association. It's where all the state reps come to talk about policy and ideas. And
So it's like a huge think tank for policy.
It's the student council of all the state reps. It's the think tank. I mean, we talk about everything from transportation, energy, you name it. And I'll be hoping to lead, well, not hoping, I'll be leading some of those conversations.
So how did they come about, man? Being the youngest one.
Yeah.
And of course, we're not going to talk about being a black man because it's a part of our equation, right? It's what we do. We just happen to be that, but we also happen to be skilled. We happen to be professional. We happen to be good at what we do. We don't have to put no label on it. But just for the record, how did they end up choosing you? What did you do over the years? Because you've been a state rep for how long now?
Man, it's great. I'm 40 for 13 years. 13
years. This is how many terms is that?
Like 5 or 6.
5 or 6 terms, lose count. So what did you do? What did you think you've done over the last 13 years representing the 33rd District that made them look at you and say, you know what? That dude right there could lead this organization, this national organization. Because that's huge. You're talking about thousands of people across the country.
And it's bipartisan. Democrats and Republicans got us.
So this is a bipartisan.
Without question.
That's even deeper.
It might be more Republicans at NCSL than Democrats.
So again, what do you think? Because I'm sure you've had conversations with them. You've attended other conventions. You've attended other activities with them over the years. What do you think that made you stand out that said, we want Marcus?
Well, the first thing is, how do you conduct yourself within your own chamber? In the Illinois House of Representatives, I pass a lot of bills. I fight for our community. I'm one of the leaders. I'm assistant majority leader on this manual Chris Roche. I'm speaker. I chair the Labor and Commerce Committee. But before that, I chaired the Transportation Committee. I chaired the Business Services Committee. I just passed a lot of bills. I'm active. I'm getting the job done in my own chamber. Now, when I do the NCSL stuff, I'm all about bringing people together. Like, I shoot out to Utah and talk to the Utah guys. My guy Wayne Harper, State Senator in Utah. I shoot to Canada, Mexico. I mean, I'm connecting with legislative bodies across the country with an agenda to bring people together, but to also be present as a black man, as a real Southside Chicago CPS kid. I bring all that with me. I live the black experience. I don't talk a lot of black because even talk is cheap, right? I'm influencing these people even within their own chambers. I'm mentoring legislators across the country to use their power. So after you do all of that for a period of time, people recognize you. Like I said, they're not just putting people, this is a, 5% black organization. I mean, they're not picking me because I'm black. Right. It's because of how I, work the job.
And so you said something key multiple times, and that is that you present and pass a lot of legislation. Is that normal, or would you think what you're doing is above the average?
It depends. Well, my standard is excellence. My family says, you don't do a job, do it right. If you're a janitor, clean the toilets. If you're a legislator, conduct yourself in class. So I don't know if what I'm doing is exceptional. It's for others to judge. I'm going to put forth the maximum effort. I became a state rep. My job is to bring my colleagues together, be a unified front, particularly in the chamber. And when I say unified, I'm talking about everybody. In the House of Representatives, I'm working with the Republicans. We're trying to get stuff done for the people of the state of Illinois. Of course, I'm trying to win a little Democrat-Republican fight, but the larger fight is Illinois moving forward. I think people see that.
And so, how does all of your colleagues on both sides of the aisle, do you think you have the respect of the majority of them, which is what gives you the leverage to be able to get these bills passed? Is that part of it?
That's the goal, but you got to spend time. I spend time with my colleagues. I don't drink alcohol, but I go hang out with the white ladies drinking wine, and I go with the black ladies and we hang out and kick it with brothers. I growing up in Chicago give you an advantage because I've kicked it with all types of people growing up, right? And so, like, the hardest of the hardest in Inglewood and Tarrytown to the white ladies in Old Town. So I spend time with different amounts of folks. So when I'm moving around, I'm comfortable around people. So you just develop them relationships.
Let's give the viewers opportunity to understand, what does the 33rd district consist of?
So it's the southeast side of Chicago. So my district is the southeast side of Chicago.
Ranging
from South Shore, 75th Street, all the way to Linwood.
Linwood.
Yeah. So I represent the southeast side of Chicago, Burnham, Cal City, Lansing, Linwood. So 4 towns and part of Chicago.
What's the population you think of that?
110,000 people. Yeah, and you engage with folks. But remember, it's like I'm elected from the district, but I engage with folks all over. I'm going tomorrow. I'll be in Bloomington talking to some labor union guys. I try to make friends everywhere I go and build bridges and connections.
And that's intentional.
For sure, because again, I grew up in Chicago, where I needed some GD friends and some Blackstone friends and some Latin King friends. I didn't survive Chicago having one set of friends.
Absolutely.
Right? You must, particularly when I didn't live there. So just basic survival in the city is having a lot of friends. So then I just apply that to politics. You just try to make friends and help people.
And so this weekend, you're on your way to be installed as the head honcho.
Yeah, the leader. I ain't the boss, I'm the leader. And the part of the leader job is to convene people. I love people, man, because I know I'm black, but all the blacks, I am a human being, a citizen of the world. And because we work internationally as well. We have Nigerian members of National Conference State Legislators. I've been to Panama. We worked with folks in Taiwan, which I'll be visiting Taiwan at some point this year, next year. All folks that make decisions in government, allocate government services, we need to work together.
So tell us this. What is this weekend going to look like to you?
Yeah.
Tell us where you're going first.
Yeah.
Where's this national conference that would install?
Well, it'll be in Boston.
It's in Boston.
Yeah. So guess next year's in Chicago.
Right.
So I'm bringing it to Chicago.
And you're going to be in charge of that.
In Chicago, we bring it.
You're going to plan the whole thing, basically. Oversee it.
I'm planning the current one in Boston, but the one in Chicago will be great. We're going to have a great time next year.
It's going to be bigger than DNC then, huh?
That's my goal. You gonna host something? When I say we're gonna have a good time next year, because we're gonna bring legislators from across the world to Chicago next year in next July. But the one in Boston, just focus on what we're doing. The one in Boston, man, is gonna be. First of all, it's the highest populated and registered NCSL conference of all time.
Okay.
And again, bring in state ideas. Look what's going on with the federal government. A lot of that is connected to state government. So we have to make sure state government is working efficiently. And even in the states where maybe black folks not getting what we need, or people, I gotta influence those legislators.
So tell me what this looks like. You go down there,
Yep.
everybody having a good time, you're mingling, you're partying, you're networking, of course.
Yeah.
You continue to build more relationships. And they say, we are honoring this man to be our next president. What does that look like? You've been to one before, but you've seen somebody else get installed. What does that actually look like? It's just one big party. Everybody salute you. Everybody giving you praise. Some of the colleagues from here going down there with you. Like who?
Tons, yeah. So some of my colleagues on the South Side, some state reps. I don't know who's all going.
Okay.
Because you've got to.
But the majority of them.
We're gonna have a large attendance from Illinois, but we're gonna have a large attendance from every state. These are state legislators from every state. There's 7,300 state reps across the country, and probably 2,000 at least.
You got your favorite suit ready.
Oh, but I'm a black man. I'm gonna come right. Getting my haircut Saturday. The look, that's the easy part. We do that on a daily basis. But so I'm coming right. But the biggest thing is we're gonna be talking about policies. And when they announce me as a president, I ain't gotta say nothing. When you're a black man, a dark-skinned black man from the South. I grew up in the Prairie Course Housing Project. My family moved to 124th and Road, the Bowie Park High School. Nothing about me is affluent. I am a regular worker. My father has trouble. Multiple teenage, as an 18-year-old parent, almost 58 years old. I mean, I'm 40. I got a regular life, and they have to say that they're regular black man is the president of the organization, and I get to influence them. I'm
You
talking.
just 40?
Yeah, I'm 40. Yeah,
I remember when
1985.
you first got, I remember your first run.
Yeah, that was 13 years ago.
Wow.
And, but I'm
And
taking.
I remember I
this
said to you too, I said the same thing I told Christian Mitchell. I said, man, just be great.
Yeah.
I told you that. Just be great. If you're going to do this job, be great at it. Just go in there with that idea of being great. And now, of course, now we see where Christian is just going now. Because at first, Christian was the youngest at first before you came along, right? As the youngest state rep. And now he's getting ready to be the lieutenant governor.
Because I was 27, he beat me. He was 26 or 25.
When he first ran, because he was in the 26th district.
26 did, yeah. So
Right.
I got appointed. I got appointed in 2012, and then he won subsequently. He became.
And then now he's about to be, at least if we assume the way the blue state is, that he'll probably be the lieutenant governor once the governor wins this next race. And will he be the youngest lieutenant governor? Most likely he will, because he's probably just like you, 40, 38,
No,
40.
He's 38.
He's 38?
Younger than me, yeah, for sure.
He'll be the youngest lieutenant governor.
And think about it. You've been a part of that process because, like, we know you always watching. If I do something raggedy, I know you're gonna tell everybody. So you've been a part of, like, keeping us accountable. You're my community, and that's why, So I credit you on some of our taking this seriously. We can't get in these positions and be playing with it because we not only got to do our job, but I think when you're a black person, you have to attempt to influence other folks. That's the key, and in the best way you can. You got to get folks to say, "Oh, we do a little bit more for your community. We do a little." You got to nudge your white friends along, or the people. It ain't their priority for our community, so I got to do that.
Absolutely. And they expect it to be yours. It should be yours.
Yeah, that's my.
And so let's talk about wealth building, because they always say the slogan is that wealth is legislated.
For sure.
And you've been a legislator.
Mhm.
And how do you see communities like your district, which is a mixed district, but for the most part, it's probably mainly black for the most part. How do you see your role and other state legislators' role in making sure that the community is building and maintaining some kind of wealth?
Yeah. Every little thing I do has to have some component of attempting to build and grow my community. Keep a prime example. My staff, it should be some young black people working in there so I can expose them to the benefits of this industry, right?
Absolutely.
So go in my office right now today. It's a young 19-year-old boy in there, Jeremiah, is my man's Brandon, 40, and 2 black women, right? I'm exposing these black folks and their families to the opportunities in this, right? I'm going to NCSL. I'm bringing the hood with me, and
Any family members?
cousins is coming for sure. But not just that, I'm bringing other ancestry folks. Do you know that the young man, his mother is Ashley, but he's like a model. What's his name? Harper. His name is Harper. The young man, he's a model, whatever. But he's a personality. He's coming out there with me to do some of his talk.
Okay.
His name is Harper. You can follow him online, bringing a couple of young black men out there with me. There's just no way I can go out there and not bring other young black men.
That's expected of you.
Yeah, but I'm doing that.
It's
So what I'm
expected
saying,
of you. So I
and
appreciate that.
if I'm talking to my colleagues in Utah, I'm trying to get them to help somebody. I told one of my colleagues in Wisconsin, who's a Republican, I said, "Are you mentoring any young black folks?" And he was like, "It ain't my job." I was like, "Why not?" So you know what he did? He went to go talk to a school in Milwaukee.
Just because you influenced them.
Yeah, you see, these are the things that we have to do if we really, serious
Serious
about
about
it. It's every aspect of my life. There's some push for the community. I'm talking to people in Oklahoma. Hey, why don't you get a black internship, from Oklahoma City? Or if they're in Tennessee, is ran by the Republicans. I said, man, bring some of them Memphis kids to Nashville. See, these are the things that I can't miss, and I'm conscious. I'm conscious because of people like you. Because if I don't do it, you're gonna be talking about it.
Is Chris Wealth a great leader for the state?
Oh, without question. I mean, again, remember, you got to go to the core. Chris Welsh is from Maywood, right?
Which is our Speaker of the House. Chris
His
Wealth.
family, regular family. You know what I'm saying? He went to Northwestern. He's a fluent brother. He's doing his thing, but he understands the struggle. He didn't live the struggle. He done seen it up close, and he's a real black man for sure. But he's a professional, and he doesn't lead with all the black talk. A lot of politicians do all that black talk. The ones doing the most black talk out of the ones I don't like to do. Because you have to live it and really do it.
Let's go to a more personal and sensitive subject with you, just real briefly, because I know it's a thing of the past. I know you keep it close to you because you experienced it. You are a cancer survivor.
Oh yeah, well, I love talking about it, man, because first of all, black men, we got to be healthier in general. So I love talking about health. Be healthy, prioritize your health, black men, because we have the lowest life expectancy, and a lot of it is how we live, and a lot of it is the stresses that we face. But yeah, when I was 21, I was diagnosed with cancer. And the worst part about it was I was misdiagnosed for 3 years. When I graduated in Maury Park High School, I had an illness and it got progressively worse. It got worse and I was misdiagnosed. When I got medical papers from every hospital around telling me I had asthma, I was misdiagnosed with asthma for 3 years. And right as life was being taken away from me, I went to the hospital and I actually I cursed out a doctor. So I remember like this. He came back, told me I had asthma. I said, man, get the blank out of here. I don't got no asthma. And he said, I'm gonna do this last test, man. But you gotta ask, you guys to take the medicine and deal with it. And he found that I had cancer, man. Non-Hodgkin lymphoma. I had a blood cancer. So I had a tumor pushing against my esophagus, which was causing asthma-like. And I had other tumors develop. So I had a open heart surgery, it's a thoracotomy, it's a minor open heart surgery. So I got this crazy slash on my side, man. This lady's like the look crazy. And I got through that. And it was like, man, you gotta be an advocate for yourself. So I do a lot of work with the American Cancer Society, and I talk about my healthcare issues all over. I love talking. But we gotta be our own advocate. These doctors are practicing. So if you don't feel good, brother, go to another doctor, keep pushing, eat healthy as you can.
So you're how many years recovered now?
So this was 2006, so what years? Yeah, almost 20 years.
Almost 20
19 years, yeah.
Congratulations, man. I know we've talked about it several times before. And I've heard you give tremendous speeches about it. So I just want to touch on it just a little bit, just kind of from the humanity side of dealing with the realities of life and how you pull through.
We got to be our own advocate. Like, ain't nobody here to save me and my health. I got to fight, right? And nobody here to save us. Who want to let us get rich, right? We have to do it ourselves and be strategic. So.
And so, look, before we close out, again, congratulations being the president. I know when you come back, you'll be probably about 1 inch taller, right? Because that's a major accomplishment, man. That's really major. I know who you are, and I know your intellect and your character, but I'm still trying to figure out, you got thousands and thousands of people across this country, and they decided that we're going to pick Marcus C. Evans.
South
side of Chicago. Straight, the GDs and all that. And we're going to let you run this major organization, helping to create and push policy across this country. I mean, to me, that's bigger than being the governor. To me, respectfully, Chris Welch, that's bigger than being the Speaker of the House. Respectfully, well, not respectfully, that's bigger than being the president, right?
Well, what I hope it means, though, is if there's somebody in Memphis that's feeling like they can't do anything, particularly a leader, because sometimes we get in these positions and we do nothing because we feel overwhelmed, right? We just, there's some politicians that just hustle it for their job. They don't feel powerful, right? I was talking to a legislator in Louisiana because the Democrats are the majority, and he was kind of like, and I had to get him to understand how powerful he is. Even though the Republicans running it, you can influence one of them. You can take it with them. Like, what can we do with what we have? Because that's usually what happens. When powerful people do nothing, we all lose. So, like, my job is to motivate black politicians across the country to get off their butt and fight and push, or quit the job. That's really one of my main pushes, and not fight to hurt anyone, but to fight to get the best for us.
So you said something interesting. You try to get your colleagues to go out on the other side and build relationships. Is there a moment that you can remember where you literally transformed somebody from the other side to see things on your side?
I mean, it's so many times because relationships are so important. Again, we are human beings.
Is it one time that you knew that was so beneficial for the community? Is that something that you can think of, or something you can even share with us? Because I know those are things sometimes are private policy, legislative matters. Somebody who was literally on the other side, and you knew this was important for your community to have this, and you did what you had to do to persuade them to come over to help change the course of that.
Well, it's hard to share the sausage making process because some stuff is not for public consumption.
Absolutely.
But I would say that even me becoming the president of NCSL, the symbolism of it was difficult for some folks because some folks would say, how do I go back to my state and be me? And you know what that means.
Yes.
If you are the president, and explaining to them that yeah, I didn't choose to be black, but I chose to be a professional elected official. I chose to conduct myself in a particular way, and that's what needs to be celebrated. I can inspire some young white kids. Like I know I'm black. I don't just look to. I was just with some Indian kids in my office because they want to do some stuff in the medical field to help South Indians. Like I don't limit myself to just black, but I love black because I'm so deeply in love with black. I love black women. I love black community. But I love all folks as well, and I definitely mentor I got some young kids in Springfield, and I'm gonna help them out because they got some of the same struggles that we have. So I represent more than just black, but it's exclusively concentrated black. you know.
Well, I'm glad that you're black. I'm glad that you again take over this post.
Yeah.
I can't wait till next year though, because that means that Chicago is gonna be banging. A lot of stuff is
In a positive banging way.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
And you're going to be right there in charge and making sure that everything is delegated right to make sure that the folks from across this country come to this town, have a great time, be productive and progressive, and hopefully when you walk out of here, everybody walk out here, policies have been discussed, maybe even implemented, that will change the course of how our lives will progress over the next 10, 15, 20 years.
And that step before policy and money, which is relationships, I want to strengthen relationships. I wish you could have come out to Boston, but even if you don't come to Boston, we'll be here next year in Chicago, end of July, and we're going to bring legislation.
This time next year, yep.
To have a good experience.
Yeah.
And talk about state government and just let's make friends. I think that's what's important.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you, man.
My
Thank you
pleasure.
for being here.
Thank you, big brother. I appreciate you.
Hey, this is Carl West. We are CEO Xchange. How do we build wealth in our community? And in this topic, through legislation, this is one of the most powerful men in the state of Illinois. He will be the most powerful man in the country. That's a legislator. Bigger than the president, bigger than the governor. Sorry, Priska. Bigger than Chris Woods. Sorry, brother. But this man, his power will be wielded. All right, till the next time. See y'all again.
See y'all.